Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Krishna, can you get the thing on the screen? Yeah. Okay, so it's 2:23. So Krishna is going to put the verse on the screen, then we'll be able to recite it together. Are you all familiar with the Bhagavad Gita? Yeah? Anybody has not read the Bhagavad Gita? Everybody read? Okay, good. Okay, we have it here. So it's Nainam Chindanti Shastrani Nainam Dahati Pavaka Nachainam Kledayantyapo Nashoshayati Maruta Nainam Chindanti Shastrani Nainam Dahati Pavaka Nachainam Kledayantyapo Nashoshayati Maruta Nainam Chindanti Shastrani Nainam Dahati Pavaka Nachainam Kledayantyapo Nashoshayati Maruta. Someone like to recite the verse? Nainam Dahati Pavaka Nashoshayati Maruta Nainam Chindanti Shastrani Nainam Dahati Pavaka Nachainam Kledayantyapo Nashoshayati Maruta. Okay, thank you. We'll do the word for word then. Na, never. Enam, this soul. Chindanti, can cut to pieces. Shastrani, weapons. Na, never. This soul. Enam, this soul. Dahati, burns. Pavakaha, the fire. Na, never. Cha, also. Enam, this soul. Kledayanti, moistens. Apaha, water. Na, never. Shosheti, dries. Marutaha, wind. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. The soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. Purport. All kinds of weapons, swords, flame, weapons, rain weapons, tornado weapons, etc., are unable to kill the spirit soul. It appears that there were many kinds of weapons, made of earth, water, air, ether, etc., in addition to the modern weapons of fire. Even the nuclear weapons of the modern age are classified as fire weapons, but formerly there were other weapons made of all different types of material elements. Fire weapons were counteracted by water weapons, which are now unknown to modern science. Nor do modern scientists have knowledge of tornado weapons. Nonetheless, the soul can never be cut to pieces, nor annihilated by any number of weapons, regardless of scientific devices. The Mayavadi cannot explain how the individual soul came into existence simply by ignorance and consequently became covered by the illusory energy. Nor was it ever possible to cut the individual souls from the original Supreme Soul. Rather, the individual souls are eternally separated parts of the Supreme Soul. Because they are atomic individual souls, eternally, Sanatana, they are prone to be covered by the illusory energy, and thus they become separated from the association of the Supreme Lord, just as the sparks of a fire, although one in quality with the fire, are prone to be extinguished when out of the fire. In the Varaha Purana, the living entities are described as separated parts and parcels of the Supreme. They are eternally so, according to the Bhagavad Gita also. So even after being liberated from illusion, the living entity remains a separate identity, as is evident from the teachings of the Lord to Arjuna. Arjuna became liberated by the knowledge received from Krishna, but he never became one with Krishna. So before beginning to speak, I'd like to offer some prayers to our spiritual masters from whom we have received this knowledge. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. And before beginning to speak, also I'd like to seek the blessing of all the assembled devotees. Please bless me, I can say something that will be pleasing to the Lordships and beneficial to all of you and for my own purification. Vancha kalpa trubhyascha kripa sindhu bhevacha vaitana bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So I'll read the verse once again. The soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. So here Krishna is describing the qualities of the soul, the qualities of our true identity. So the soul is can be never cut to pieces. Thank you. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada, he explains that modern science, they have manufactured different kinds of weapons, like the atomic weapons, but these are all weapons made of fire. But in the and according to the Vedic scriptures, there's a type of shastra called the Dhanurveda that describes the military science, and they're describe that there are different kinds of weapons, even made from water, from air. Like in the Krishna book, also we have this pastime described of Banasura. Has anybody heard of the story of Banasura? Yes. So there's this great king Banasura. So he prayed to Lord Shiva for a benediction that he would have so much power. So then Lord Shiva, he gave him 1,000 arms, and he was so powerful that no one could defeat him. So then he was just wandering all over the universe trying to find somebody who could give him a good fight, but nobody could. And then he just started beating up the mountains with his arms. And then finally he went back to Lord Shiva and he said, you gave me so much power, but I have no one to fight with. So I'm feeling like I need to have a good fight. So Shiva, he became angry. He's like, you fool, you don't have anything good to do with your power. You just want to fight. I bless you that you will find a suitable combatant for you who will cut all your arms to pieces and reduce your power. So then he was very happy. You see, he was such a demon that he was actually very happy that he would find somebody who would give him a good fight. And so he went home and he was waiting for the day when this person would come to give him a good fight. So then, it's a long story that his daughter got involved with Krishna's son. Yeah, she saw him in a dream actually, and she liked him. And so she had this friend who had like some supernatural powers. So she brought Krishna's son to her palace, and in the middle of the night, so nobody knew where Krishna's son went. Aniruddha, Krishna's grandson, I believe, actually, Krishna's grandson. And so they were all looking for him, and then finally they found him in this person's house, Banasura. And so, Banasura had actually captured him by this time and put him in jail. So then Krishna came with his whole army to fight with Banasura so that they could get back their grandson, get him out of prison. So then this big fight ensued, and it's described that in this fight many different kinds of weapons were used. And there's even like, you see, with all different kinds of elements. So there are 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And so even there was like a yawning weapon Krishna used on Lord Shiva. Yeah, this was a great fight because Lord Shiva, he promised to protect Banasura. So when Banasura was in the fire, then he was experiencing like he was about to lose. So then he called Lord Shiva to help him, and so Lord Shiva also came. And so then it was Krishna fighting with Lord Shiva, and then Krishna he threw this yawning weapon at Lord Shiva. When after some time with fighting with Lord Shiva, then he thought, let me just make Shiva tired, then he won't fight anymore. So then he threw this yawning weapon, then all Lord Shiva could do was yawn, and he couldn't fight. So these are different kinds of weapons that modern science has no experience of. And then there's also described the Narayana Jwara and the Shiva Jwara. So then Shiva, through his weapon, was called the Shiva Jwara, and this was a fire weapon. It was very fiery. It was making fire everywhere, burning everything to ashes. But then Lord Vishnu, he sent his Narayana Jwara weapon, and this was very cold. It was an icy weapon, and it was more powerful than the Shiva Jwara, and so ultimately it froze the Shiva Jwara. And then the Shiva Jwara, it was actually a person, as like a fiery personality. So he began to feel very cold with the Narayana Jwara, so he went and he prayed to Lord Krishna for protection, and then Krishna ultimately he withdrew his Narayana Jwara and protected him also. And in the Mahabharata also we have experience of like the rain weapons and wind weapons. And there's also the story of Krishna and Arjuna, where Arjuna, he wants to, after Ashwatthama has killed all of his 5 sleeping sons, then he goes to chase after Ashwatthama to kill him. But before he catches Ashwatthama, just when he's about to catch him, then Ashwatthama releases this Brahmastra weapon. So Brahmastra is also like a fire weapon, but then Krishna tells him to counteract that. So he also counteracts it. So with water, because fire can be counteracted with water. So and you see that in the Vedic literatures, there's so much amazing information that we're not that is beyond any human discovery. So modern scientists, they're very proud of their achievements, their big microscopes, and their inventions. But actually, if we study the scriptures, there's evidence that there was so many more amazing creations in the past, because people actually took advantage of the Vedic knowledge. Just like in the Bhagavatam also there's described the flower airplanes. Like modern scientists, they're very proud of their airplanes that can carry like many people. But actually, if we look at these airplanes and compare them to the airplanes of the past, the airplanes of the past were much better because they didn't create pollution, and it didn't have to dig up so many metals from the earth. They were made of flowers. So this is very amazing. So similarly, what to speak of material knowledge, the scriptures also give us so much spiritual knowledge. And even we can just imagine that even though scientists, they can hardly understand anything of the material science, and what to speak of spiritual science, which is so much more finer, more subtle, more difficult to understand, because we have all material senses. So what can we understand of spiritual knowledge? Therefore, if we want spiritual knowledge, if we want to understand our true spiritual identity as a soul, then we have to go to the Vedic literatures to get real knowledge. And the essence of all Vedic literature is this Bhagavad Gita. Here Krishna is speaking the essence of all Vedic knowledge. And in this, just by reading this one book, Bhagavad Gita, then we can get all the knowledge we need to understand our identity, to understand what we have to do to attain the purpose of life, to attain ultimate happiness, and ultimately to attain the spiritual world, which is our eternal home, where we can live eternally without ever having to get disease, get old, and die. So we should all take advantage of this Bhagavad Gita. Just by reading a little bit every day, then we can soon... it seems maybe somebody may think like it looks like a big book. They have no time to read. But if you just read like 2 pages every day, you'll finish the whole Bhagavad Gita in 1 year. And if you do that every year, then imagine if you read the Bhagavad Gita every year of your life, you'll have so much realization, you get so much knowledge how to make good decisions in your life that will actually benefit you. Because here Krishna is describing that actually our identity is the soul. And the soul it needs also nourishment. If we just ignore ourselves, we just think that our body is ourself, and we spend our whole life just working how to maintain our body, how to give our body shelter, how to maintain our children, our family that's in relation to our body also, then we won't actually feel satisfaction, because we're working for something which is not ourself. So if we actually want, in Bhagavad Gita explains, if we actually want real satisfaction, then we have to give nourishment to the soul. And how can we nourish the soul? We can nourish the soul by connecting it to the Supreme Soul, which is Krishna. Krishna is the source of all spiritual happiness, source of all pleasure, source of all knowledge, and eternal life. And what is the process to connect the soul to the Supreme Soul? I can say chanting, yes. Bhakti yoga, yes. Yoga, the Sanskrit word yoga literally means to connect. Comes from the English word yoke is derived from that. Yoke means like to connect. So yoga means to connect the soul to the Supreme Soul, to connect ourselves to God. And the best process of yoga for this age, as recommended in Bhagavad Gita, is Bhakti Yoga. Krishna says, Yoginam api sarvesham madgater nantaratmanam shraddhavan bhajte yomam same yukta tamomata. That of all yogis, the one with great faith, who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me, he is the most intimately united with me in yoga, and he is the highest of all. So, and also in the Bhagavad Gita it says, Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridavarta namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasati. That one who always chants my holy names is always endeavoring with great determination. And such a great soul is very rare. And so in this way Krishna is describing the process of attaining him. And finally, in the end, Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityaja, just abandon all varieties of religion, all your different plans for sense gratification, and just surrender unto me, that I will protect you from all kinds of sinful reactions. I'll take care of you, and ultimately you will attain me. And when you attain Krishna, that means you attain ultimate happiness. But still, Krishna saw that we were not very much inclined to surrender to him. So then he came again as Lord Chaitanya in the form of a devotee. And then in this form, Krishna is so merciful that he doesn't even demand that we surrender first. He's just distributing the highest form of love for Krishna. And he has made this so easily available just by chanting the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So in this incarnation, Lord Chaitanya is teaching us the easiest method for connecting ourselves to God through the chanting of the holy names. This is actually the main process of bhakti yoga. In the Bhagavatam also, it's explained, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada, Sevanam, that there are 9 processes of devotional service, and the most important are hearing and chanting. So when we chant the holy names of Krishna, we should also hear and listen to the sounds of the mantra. And by this process of hearing and chanting, then we can attain all perfection. And Lord Chaitanya, he says in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar Nama Hoite Hayasarva Jagat Nistar. That this holy name of chanting of the holy names of Krishna is the prime method of attaining perfection in this age of Kali. And that just by taking to the chanting of the holy names, one can attain all perfection. So yeah. Also here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada, he talks about how this verse, it refutes the Mayavadi conception that after liberation we all become one, because here it says that the soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon. So because the Mayavadis, they believe that we're all actually one with the Lord. But due to because of coming in contact with Maya, then we become separate. But here it said that the soul can never become cut or separated from the Lord. They're eternally separated. And it's not that after becoming liberation, we'll all merge into one. This is also confirmed more explicitly in another place in Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says, Mamaivam so jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatana, manashasthani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. That these living entities are my eternal fragmental parts. So here the word eternal is used. Eternal fragmental parts. That means they're eternally separated. And the benefit is this is that we can engage in loving exchanges with the Lord. Because if we're all one, then there's no joy. Because how much joy can you realize just sitting in a room, just all by yourself with nobody else there? It's not fun if you're just by yourself. We need to have friends around us. We need to have different people. Then we can enjoy relationships. We can do things together and this way enjoy. So this is the aim of life, to have loving relationships with Krishna. And therefore the Mayavadi theory is most misleading, because it presents that the ultimate goal is just to merge into God and have no relationship with Him. This is actually missing the whole purpose of life, which is to develop a loving relationship with Krishna. And Prabhupada gives a nice analogy so that how we can understand how even though we become liberated, we attain a spiritual state, still we remain individual. We maintain our individual identities. He gives the example of a green bird entering a green tree. So it seems like the bird disappears when it enters the tree because we can't see it, because it just merges with the green. But actually, the bird doesn't merge with the tree. It maintains its own identity. And instead it enjoys the fruits of the tree. So that's also similar to us. When we become liberated, we go back to the spiritual world. We attain a spiritual identity, but still we remain individual personalities, and we enjoy loving relationships with Krishna, rendering loving service to Him. This is the source of the greatest happiness for the soul, to be connected to the Supreme Soul. Here in this material world, we can't get true happiness because we're always trying to satisfy ourselves with material things, and because we're spiritual, we can't be satisfied with material things. We can only be satisfied with spiritual things because we're eternal, and everything in this world here is temporary. So we can never be satisfied with anything that's temporary, anything that it will decay, and also that's so limited by time, by space. Yeah, so also here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada, he gives a nice analogy of the fire, that Lord Krishna is compared to the big fire, and we as the living entities are compared to the small sparks of the fire. So as long as we remain in the fire, in contact with the fire, then we are brilliant and we're glowing. But as soon as we leave the fire, then we lose our beautiful glow, our fiery potency, and we become extinguished. So to revive that position, we should always remain in contact with the fire and in contact with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. You see, now we're having this beautiful festival of Julan Yatra. So this wouldn't be possible if we were all one. In the spiritual world, there are so many wonderful pastimes that we enjoy with Krishna. Krishna has so many different associates, so many different devotees, and they all derive great pleasure by trying to make various arrangements for Krishna to be happy. And actually, the service of Krishna is so wonderful that the servants actually, they enjoy even more than Krishna, because Krishna, he's so pleased with his devotees that he rewards them with so much more happiness. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, we were reading the other day that Krishna, he says that his devotees are even dearer to his own self than himself. So can you imagine? We take so much care for our own self to make sure that we're well fed, we're comfortable, and we're happy, and we get everything we want. But imagine Krishna, who is all powerful, he can actually, make everything happen. But he's actually more concerned about us even than his own self. So for those who are his devotees, they have nothing to fear. They have nothing to be anxious about, because Krishna takes full care of them. The devotee's only meditation is, how can I please Krishna? How can I serve Krishna? We were also reading in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says that the contradictory nature of happiness is that as soon as you endeavor to attain happiness, you don't get it. It just it goes away. But as soon as you try to serve Krishna and forget about your own happiness, then that's when you get happiness. So we should, if we really want happiness, then we should not try to get our own happiness, but we should try to think how Krishna will be happy, because Krishna is a supreme soul. By satisfying Krishna, then we, as his parts and parcels, that's how we become happy. Just like when you put food in the stomach, and that's the only way you can get nourished. If you try to enjoy the food without putting it into the stomach, just try to enjoy it. Say like if the hand, he thinks, because we're like parts of the body, so part of the body like the hand, if it just wants to mush the food, enjoy it by itself without giving it to the stomach, it can't derive any pleasure. The only way is to give it to the stomach, then that's how we get nourishment and satisfaction. So this is the process of devotional service that's been taught by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, that's been taught by Lord Chaitanya, who's Lord Krishna's more recent incarnation, and is coming down in disciplic succession. It's taught to us again by Srila Prabhupada, who so kindly came to the West. He translated the Bhagavad Gita in English, so all of us can benefit. And this pure knowledge is being passed down in the chain of disciplic succession. So its full potency is there. That's the special thing about this Bhagavad Gita. That's why it's called Bhagavad Gita, as it is, because Srila Prabhupada, he has kept the knowledge intact. He hasn't misconstrued the meaning by presenting his own whimsical opinions, as many different authors of Bhagavad Gita have. So we should try to understand the Bhagavad Gita, read it every day, so every day we can refresh our consciousness with the divine instructions of Krishna, of Srila Prabhupada, and then we become enlightened in how to best perform the process of devotional service. One nice verse from chapter 18 I really like. Krishna says how to perform devotional service. He says, Chetasa sarva karmani mai sannyasa matpara buddhi yogam apashritya machita satatam bhava. That in all activities, just depend on me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. So here Krishna, he says in which mood we should perform our devotional service, by always depending on Krishna. That means we work to the best of our ability, whatever Krishna has given us, but at the end we depend on Krishna for the results. If you want to give me success, if you want to give me failure, that's up to you, but I did my best, and so I'm satisfied because I did my best. And whatever Krishna gives, we'll be satisfied with that. Work always under my protection. So we should also be confident that Krishna will give us all protection, because this is his promise. In the Bhagavad Gita, he says, declare it boldly, O Arjuna, that my devotee will never perish. He always gives protection to his devotees. So we should take shelter of Krishna, knowing that he's such a kind and loving master to his devotees, and then work always under his protection, and then working always under his protection also means following his instructions. So when Krishna gives us instructions in Bhagavad Gita how to worship him, he says, always think of me, always offer your obeisances to me, always chant my holy names. So, and while doing these process of devotional service also, Krishna says, always be conscious of me. So that's important also, that we do our service consciously with a prayerful mood. When we chant, we should chant with a prayerful mood. That's the most important part of Bhakti Yoga. It's the devotion, the love with which we do our activities. So this is very pleasing to Krishna when we dedicate each of our activities to him consciously, thinking with a prayerful mood, thinking that I'm doing this for you, dear Lord, kindly be pleased with my activities, and I offer the results of all my activities to you for your pleasure. So this is the way to attain the highest perfection of life. So now I'll leave some time for questions or comments. Anybody like to share something? Add something? Yeah, so this the process of devotional service is described also in the Nectar of Instruction, that to attain perfection in devotional service, then Srila Rupa Goswami explains that there are 6 things which are favorable for the execution of devotional service. That if we do these 6 things, then our success in devotional service is guaranteed. So these things are utsahan nischaya dharya tat karma pravartanat sangatyaga sato vrite sadbhir bhaktir prasiddhyati. So the first is utsahan. We should be enthusiastic during our devotional service. And utsahan nischaya. Nischaya means we should be confident of Krishna's, confident that this is the right thing to do, and confident of Krishna's mercy, that Krishna will reciprocate with me. And nischaya dharya. Dharya means patient. So we have to also be patient, and not expect that the results will come immediately, because Krishna wants to see that we're determined also. We're not just after seeking our own sense gratification, because if our only aim to perform devotional service is to satisfy our own senses, then that's not the right motivation. In the Bhagavatam, it is said that if we really want satisfaction from devotional service, then devotional service should be unmotivated and uninterrupted. That means we shouldn't do it with a desire to obtain happiness, as I explained. If we work for our own happiness, then we won't get it. But if we work for the happiness of Krishna, then we'll get it. So our meditation has to be how to please Krishna. We should be sincere, sincerely try to please Krishna. And if we don't have that desire to please Krishna, then we can pray to Krishna, because we can pray to Krishna to reveal himself to us, to make us attracted to him. Because once we know Krishna, we'll realize that Krishna is such a wonderful person, then we'll automatically just want to make him happy, out of love for him. That's why it's very important to read also. Srila Prabhupada has translated the Krishna book. Krishna book is such a wonderful book. It describes all the qualities and activities of the Lord, how Lord Krishna reciprocates with his devotees in such a loving way. Also in the Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, all these books, they describe all the qualities and the activities of Krishna. So by reading these books, then we can increase our love for Krishna, our attraction and attachment to Krishna, and then spontaneously we'll want to please him. So then when we develop this mood of love for Krishna, then that will give us the happiness when we perform our devotional service. So we should continue on enthusiastically. Enthusiasm also comes from reading the books, actually, and associating with devotees especially. Because by reading the books we can see how so many devotees, by practicing, taking to this process, they attain perfection. So then we can also become enthusiastic that if I do I follow the same process, then I can also attain perfection. And by associating devotees, we can see how the devotees, they also become happy by performing this process of devotional service. By associating with those devotees who are enthusiastic, then we also become enthusiastic and confident in Krishna's mercy. And then we just have to carry on with patience, confidence that Krishna will soon reveal himself to us and bless us with everything we desire. And there are also a few more things. Yeah, it says, Utsaha nischaya daryat tadat karma pravartana. Yeah, tadat karma pravartana means following the rules and regulations of devotional service, as outlined by the acharyas. Then sangatyaga. Sangatyaga means giving up association of non-devotees. And then satovrite. Satovrite means following the previous acharyas. So these 6 things, if we follow these things, then Srila Rupa Goswami says the complete success of our devotional service is guaranteed. Is that okay for you? Anything else? So we have a few more minutes, 2 minutes, and Arti will start. I thank you all for listening attentively, and yeah, please stay for the Arti also. Hare Krishna.